To make a swatch in 2-color brioche worked in the round, we will need yarn in 2 colors, and we'll need any setup that allows us to work in the round. I will use my favorite magic loop technique and one long circular needle. Cast on an even number of stitches. I cast on 16 stitches over here. Then arrange the stitches for working in the round depending on the setup that you have, and join them for working in the round. So I joined my stitches by passing one stitch over the other. Now we are ready to start working in the brioche stitch pattern. The first round will be a setup round. That's where we introduce the second color, and that's where we set up the pattern. Tie color B to the strand of color A, just with a simple knot like this, and move that knot as close to the stitch as you can, just like this. And then use the color B, that's the lighter color in my case, use it to work this round. So the setup round would be knit 1 stitch, that's easy, then make a yarn over and slip 1 stitch purlwise with the yarn at the back of the work. So we make a yarn over like this, and then I make sure the yarn is at the back of the work, and then I insert the tip of the right needle from right to left into the stitch and simply slip it from the left needle to the right needle, just like this. And that's it. And we repeat doing that. Knit 1 and then make a yarn over and slip 1. It's easier to make this yarn over plus slip stitch if you simply place the yarn on the left needle and then slip them together, the strand and the stitch. It's usually faster, so that's just another option. And then again, knit 1 and then slip yarn over with the stitch. Knit 1 and slip yarn over with the stitch. Because the pattern repeat ends with the yarn over, basically being over the slipped stitch, make sure you don't lose this yarn over. It's very important, especially if you have a setup like mine where I have to rearrange stitches as I'm working. So I finished working with the first group of stitches, so I'm gonna pull this the needle and get ready to work with the second group of stitches, but at the same time I keep an eye on this yarn over. I remember that it has to be there and I don't want to lose it. So I'm gonna, as I start working with the second group of stitches, I make sure that the yarn over is still there, that it didn't unravel. And then we continue, knit 1 and then slip with the yarn over. And that's it. That's the first round. That was the setup round where we introduced the second color. And again, this round ends with the yarn over. So when you start working on the next round, you have to remember to make sure that this yarn over stays there. Now let's move on to the second round of the pattern. And in that round, we're gonna use color A again. So I'm gonna use the darker color because we are changing colors every round. So if one of the rounds was worked in color A, then the second round should be worked in color B. And just a little quick tip, if you are not sure which color you used for the previous round, let's say you paused or put your work aside or whatever, then look at your stitches. If most of the stitches are done in, let's say, lighter color, that means that the next round should be worked in the darker color. And that's exactly what I'm going to do. But we remember about that elusive yarn over, right? To keep it there, we're going to twist the yarns. So I'm going to bring the darker color over the lighter color like this. See, I have this little twist over here, and then I use the darker color for the next round, and this round is gonna be round 2 of this pattern, and it goes like this. Make a yarn over and slip 1 stitch, and we already know that we can simply place the strand on the needle and slip them together, and then purl together the yarn over made in the previous row, that's going to be this one, and the stitch paired with this yarn over. So if you look at your work, you will notice that these yarn overs, especially on the other side, you see that these yarn overs, they're kind of together with the stitch, and we're going to treat them as one stitch. So this one is going to be purled together with the yarn over. So we purl them together. And then again, yarn over slip and purl together. Yarn over slip, purl together. And just one more time. Here we go. And you see that this yarn over got really loose. And before we start a new round, it's a good idea to simply pull the yarn to make sure that we don't get any loose stitches over there. Now rearrange the stitches and let's move on to round 3. Okay, here we go. This round is worked with the lighter color, with color B, and we know that it's true because when we look at the stitches, even though we don't remember what color we used, we see that most of the stitches are darker, so that means the next round is going to be worked in a lighter color. And in this round, we don't twist yarns. We simply place the darker color, the color A, we simply place it to the right of the work without twisting it with the lighter color. See, they're not twisted. And then use the color B, the lighter color in my case, to work the third round. And that's going to be knit, yarn over plus stitch together, and then make a yarn over and slip one stitch. Knit together, slip one stitch. And one more time, knit two together, yarn over and slip. And that's it. These 2 rounds, they form the pattern. So you simply repeat these rounds 2 and 3 on and on and on and on. Remember those yarn overs, keep them at the end of the 3rd round so that it doesn't slip off the needle. And when you work on and on and on and on, you'll get something similar to this swatch. And in this swatch, you can see that it forms nice chain of stitches in one color on one side, and then a nice chain of stitches in the other color on the other side. So that's super cute, right? And I left those tails on purpose because I wanted to show you. Because we don't twist yarns in every round, just every other round, that means that we don't see where the yarns were changed actually. See, so this is the place where the yarns were changed, as you can clearly see by looking at those tails, but it's absolutely invisible. So you keep working on and on and on, and when you're ready to bind off stitches, simply bind them off in pattern as a regular bind off. Just treat those paired stitches, yarn over plus stitch, treat them as one stitch, and don't make yarn overs over the empty stitches, the stitches that don't have a yarn over yet.